And we are back with another episode of the Hoop Plug. It's Chris Paul, a starter with Golden State. Team USA fails to make its mark.
Keep it locked. This is a jam-packed episode of the Hoop Plug.
And without further ado, man, let's just get straight into it. And no better way to start it or better place to start it than the Bay. Golden State Warriors. We talked about it briefly in the intro, but the burning question that everybody has wanted to know, how is Chris Paul going to fit into the 2022 champions lineup? And does he fit into the starting lineup? That's the question right there. Tyler, initial thoughts?
Yeah, the first thing I think is, what's the plan, right? We're seeing the reports. Golden State is supposed to be starting Chris Paul. But when you think deeper into what's been the path to success for Golden State, it's always been stars sacrificing. Whether it was David Lee on that first squad that made a run, he goes down, gets hurt, Draymond emerges into the player we know him as today. Mm-hmm. When David Lee gets back off injury, he puts his ego to the side and comes off the bench. When KD comes up and joins a 73-win team, he puts his ego aside and lets Steph lead the show. Well, now the latest great, in search of his first title, while this team has already ripped off 4 of them, will be faced with that same question. Will he be able to put his ego aside and do his best for this team?
10-time All-NBA Chris Paul. Future Hall of Famer Chris Paul. Point guard Chris Paul put his ego aside. Nah, I don't think so. But guess what? I don't think he's going to have a choice. You look at it, man. You look at the way that this roster is assembled. The starting unit, for the most part, is as solid as it's going to be with the pieces that they've gotten. You know, besides, another KD-type whirlwind trade, that's as solid as they're going to get. Inserting Chris Paul into this lineup, all that does is it clogs up your backcourt. And it doesn't necessarily give you what you want. I mean, Draymond's able to do what Chris Paul does from the forward position at a different position than Steph Curry, right? I think the whole plan was for Chris Paul to come in and lead this second unit, right? And if Chris Paul looks at it right, you know what I'm saying? He's very much so going to close games. Not all the time, but Chris Paul has the opportunity to get 25 plus minutes a night with the second unit. Essentially, if he looks at it this way, I'm a starter with this unit. This is my team when I'm on the floor, and he's going to have the opportunity to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, Jordan Poole is the guy they took out of this equation. So that was 20 points per game right there. Whether you were getting it every night, there was big highs and low lows. But Chris Paul is the antithesis of that. He's the steady presence. If he's not scoring, he's finding guys. And that doesn't go away with time. What's always been the Golden State Warriors' weakness has been getting loose, getting sloppy with the ball. Chris Paul's the exact opposite of that. He's the floor general, the point guard, if you will. So I like that part of it, but you're right, man. He's here to bolster that second unit. Whether it's game 82, game 12, halfway through the season, I'm not sure when, but I think by the time the playoffs roll around, Chris Paul's going to be the sixth man on the squad.
100%, bro. And this is the thing about it, right? I know it sounds like a knock. I mentioned it earlier. There's no doubt this man is a future Hall of Famer, right? But if you look at 2 guys who actually played on the same team as Chris Paul and Lou Will, Jamal Crawford, these guys are famous for being sixth men of the year. They were able to thrive in that role. And knowing that type of high IQ player that he is, Chris Paul can really thrive in this role. And we can actually see, in my opinion, if he does it right, a boost in his numbers from his numbers that he had last year. And more importantly, a boost in impact, right? Because that's what it's all about.
And 2 things I got to acknowledge here. One, Chris Paul is unfortunately coming off the worst year of his career. Shooting efficiency was in the toilet, his lowest scoring output in quite some time. People called this a salary dump when the trade was announced. They were getting off Jordan Poole because Chris Paul isn't fully guaranteed the rest of that big bag he got next season.
Yep.
So the Warriors and the reports we're hearing are kind of coming out of both sides of their mouth. Because on one hand, this is just a strategic move for down the road. We got to pay Dre, we got to pay Wiggins, and that's got to come somewhere. But at the other side, they're like, okay, no, we still can win. We're 2 years removed from the finals, winning it. We're getting a guy that maybe is in his twilight of his career, but at worst, you're looking at like a Rondo with the Lakers situation where just get him through the 82 and then he can be a real asset come playoffs. We know how Rondo was able to turn series, complete series, not just game series in the postseason. And you'd be crazy if you don't think Chris Paul is even at the ripe age of 37, 38, you could do the same thing for Golden State. I mean, Steph Curry is a shooting guard. There should be a role for him there. Steve Kerr, this is why you get paid the big bucks, though. You're going to have to figure that out.
Yep. Nah, 100%, man. And you said it. And I think that if he's able to, do his thing, we'll be talking about Chris Paul for a long time. And these Golden State Warriors are going to have good opportunity at a championship. No doubt about it.
All right, bro. Let's get into this. The biggest disaster of the summer, Team USA blowing it in Manila. There are many reasons why Team USA didn't take that home. Whether it was Jaren Jackson Jr. rebounding like 5'10", Isaiah Thomas, Steve Kerr falling in love with playing small. But most importantly, the biggest reason in my eyes at least, is we didn't send the top dogs. The A-listers, the killers, the soldiers weren't there. Devin Booker, KD, LeBron, nowhere to be found. That all could be made right next summer in Paris. We got the Olympics, which means Team USA is actually going to care and send their best. We already saw the recruits. LeBron led the way. Steph Curry saying he's going to play in his first Olympics for us. What do you think?
Listen, like our boy Biggie said, Thriller in Manila. This was not the Thriller in Manila. It was in Manila, but it was not a thriller for Team USA, man. Listen, you said it, dude. They didn't bring the big dogs. They got a roster of puppies and a couple of medium dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like teenage dogs, like not big dogs. You got to give their flowers to guys like Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson. I mean, Jalen Brunson could have performed even a little bit better at times. I mean, but regardless, Anthony Edwards is a dog. I mean, I'll even give it to Austin Reeves. Team USA coach Steve Kerr found out, just like the Lakers coach, a little too late, that AR needs to start. AR is a baller. You know what I mean? Regardless, I say all that to say this, man. How you expect this team of NBA third stringers, to come and propel us against the best of other countries of what they've got? Like you said it, I don't know if you said it this time around, right? But they're not even the best roster. You know what I mean? There are better rosters in this World Cup than Team USA, which is something that's just unheard of, man. But listen, LeBron's nice. Give me, KD, Dame Lil, all the top guys, D Book. That's nice, right? But can I at least get some NBA starters? You know what I mean? Like some second. I mean, you got legitimately, not every guy on this team is a starter on their team. A lot of guys are. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I think Team USA is going to fix it around for the Olympics. Fashion Week's got something to do with it. Guys going to be having that free reason to be out in Paris. Yeah, man, it's going to be hype. I won't be surprised when we win that, but I'm not going to lie. Even with the roster that we have, man, I thought we could have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Josh Hart starting games? You kidding me? Austin Reeves, your second best scorer? We're still the top dog. Like you said, there's an expectation to win, and it should be. Don't misconstrue it. That should be the standard. But the rest of this world has caught up in the game of basketball, even with the God Squad next year. It's gonna be close. There's gonna be some tight games, especially if you're looking at Serbia. They made it to the last game without Jokic. They got guys like Poku in OKC. They got guys like Nikola Jovic on the Miami Heat. Like they got some dudes, and they're all like 6'8" at the lowest. So yeah, it's gonna be a good Olympics. I'm excited for the NBA season. Of course, we got training camp in a week, but the Paris Olympics is gonna be something to see.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, man. And this is the thing, right? If they don't want to repeat the mistakes of past years, just got to call one man and one man only. Listen, if Carmelo Anthony, Mr. Olympic, is not on this Team USA team, I'm going to feel slighted. And if we lose, I'm not saying when because I'm not going to wish that on them. If we lose, there's only going to be one person feeling mellow, and that's number 7, all right? So,
Y'all brought him out, had him sit in front row and watch that debacle, too. That's crazy. I know he was thinking about just hopping over that barricade, getting on the court.
But now, with that being said, though, we're talking about greats like Melo. Let's talk about some up-and-coming potential future greats. You know what I mean? Listen, there's some thunder in Oklahoma City, right? But there's a talent pot that's brewing right now. There's a mixture that's going on. And listen, this Oklahoma City Thunder team, you give these guys a couple years, they are going to be scary. head of the snake in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They got Josh Giddey. They got Poku, like you mentioned. I'm not even beginning to touch the surface on the talent that these guys have.
Yeah, and OKC, it's not Dion, we're coming. Nah, they're here. I don't think we need a few years. Chet Holmgren, he's going to be a problem. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he doesn't need any more time loading. He's here. He's putting up 30 a night. They saw what they did. Okay, bright young core, overachieved a little bit last year. They're in postseason contention down the stretch, playing the last game of the play-in. Let's not stand pat. I know we got picks out the wazoo, but let's push the envelope. Let's add a little bit. They added some shooting in Davis Bertans. And a name you don't know but will soon, EuroLeague MVP, squarely in his prime, Vasil Micic. This guy is a point guard. He can shoot it. He can get to the cup. He's crafty. He's going to take a lot of y'all by surprise. OKC fans, remember y'all heard it here first. Sidebar, before we get into that. Did you see, I was just thinking of other contenders out west. Kawhi's out here moving around, PG. They both look like healthy for an offseason, which is almost as rare as seeing them healthy for a regular season. Steve Ballmer's new arena that they're building for the Clippers down in Englewood, California. Mm-hmm. First of its kind. I've never seen anything like this. They might have this in a few soccer stadiums, but their scoreboard is going to wrap around the whole stadium.
Oh,
like a 360 TV board. This thing looks insane.
No, I don't think soccer's got that because usually it's outdoors, right? So it'd be, you know what I mean? But
yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, dude, listen, they gotta be up and up with the times because they're about to build an arena that's. He don't want to put another dollar into it. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but for 50 years. So let me upgrade this shit as nice as it could be so I could ride this thing out. You know?
Yeah. No, it's looking cool. I mean, I remember we posted a video of the renderings like 4 or 5 years ago. I think they should be opening up pretty soon. That's going to be cool, man. We might need to take a trip out there. I've never been to the West Coast either, So
what'd you say? Hoop Plug fans going to send Tyron for us some tickets to the LA Clippers
y'all know how to get us there. Hit up EvanAlexanderGrooming.com now.
Yes, sir. I mean, if you really want to cut the middleman, hit email Ty. No, I'm playing. No, man, that's funny stuff.
Let's do this right.
Ben Simmons update. We got a Ben Simmons update.
That's right, y'all. All right, Ben Simmons making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Again, y'all gonna notice there's some similarity between this, the last offseason, and the one before that. Because once again, Ben Simmons, Benjamin Button Simmons, wish he could go back in time. But that's not happening right now because he says he thinks he's that guy again. Let me remind you real quick. Last time he said he was healthy, that was last season, about 365 days ago. Same timing, odd, right?
Honestly, dude, he just needs to stop it. Yeah. You've got to understand at a certain point, it sounds cool, dude. When you say something over and over and over again and it doesn't come through, well, shoot, that's the boy who cried wolf right there. Mm. If Ben Simmons wants to start to prove the haters wrong, if I was him, I'd be off social media. I'd give one interview at the beginning of the offseason. I'd be like, check me at the end of next season, right? And I'd be hella cold-blooded on my villain arc, bro.
There's nothing that he could say that would get us to believe he's back. The only way to prove it is on the court. All right. And Ben Simmons looked like a shell of himself. The way he's just so afraid of driving the basketball. It's strange. I haven't seen it. I'm actually rooting for dude because the drop-off is insane right now. He's cost himself tens of millions of dollars.
Bro, to be honest, man, he's cost himself more than that because if he keeps this up, all his future potential contracts and extensions that he was on the arc to get, especially with this ever-growing salary cap, he's going to miss out on. I mean, dude, like, seriously, it's not even the jump shooting anymore. It's like you said, it's a confidence issue. You saw him in his first couple years. It wasn't this bad. At LSU, I mean, he would at least shoot the thing. When a man is underneath the rim, wide open, and is thinking to pass the ball instead of shoot a layup, you know you got something wrong.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's definitely strange what's going on in Brooklyn. I don't know if they have the right guys, but the cast of characters has cleared. Yeah, you got Bridges who's going to demand his shots because he's on the ascension. He's the hope for Brooklyn right now, but there's no KD, there's no Kyrie, and the expectations should have left with them. So, Ben, if there is a time, the time is now, okay?
Facts.
Get that confidence back. Prove the world wrong.
Yeah, because otherwise, man, you're gonna be at an interview just like my boy Melo talking about. Hey, yo, P, they want me to come off the bench. There's no other place to take it, man, than Los Angeles and our boy LeBron James. LeBron James is no stranger to breaking records. Ty, you know that, fans at home. We all know that, man. LeBron James has the opportunity to do something special, right? It's going to be the first time in NBA history, right, that an individual has the opportunity to score 40,000 points in their career, right? We're not talking about next season, 2 seasons down the line, 10 years down the line, right? That wouldn't be realistic for LeBron. We're talking about the potential opportunity. If LeBron averages his numbers, he will break 40,000 points this year. Tyler, what's your thoughts on that?
That's King James. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. That's an awesome stat. 40,000. That's crazy. And I feel like he's going to finish around 42. Shout out Jackie Robb, maybe 43,000 by the time Bronny gets in the league. I don't know, man. We haven't, and it's not the important thing, but we haven't heard a timetable on when he's supposed to be playing again. But hopefully he can get back on the track that had him headed to be a first-round pick just a year from now. But LeBron, you said it, 40K? That's crazy. And when you start to think who's going to touch this, we're going to have to keep waiting because there's no one playing right now. I don't think there's anyone. Yeah. Luka is the maybe because he got in at 19. But the way he's looking, that's a hard coming in pudgy every other year, you know, I don't think he has the commitment to his body that it's going to take to put up 20 monster seasons like this.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about a guy like KD, right? KD's just straight up missed too much time.
Yeah,
to be in this conversation. I mean, if he plays another 15 years, shit, maybe. But is that realistic? I don't know. 30 years in the league, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
He'd have to enter his most Spates era, just pick and pop, easy money sniper. But I don't know if he's got that in him.
You know, but that's nuts, man. I remember being a kid and you know, going through the scoring records, looking for Michael Jordan. Oh, like Michael Jordan, you're third. Oh, Karl Malone, that's pretty good. Look at this guy, Wilt, man. Sorry, Wilt. Look at this guy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you're like, this guy is the dude. Like, nobody is touching this record. Can't even think about anybody touching this record. It's probably like 2006, 2007. Little did we know the kid from Akron, Ohio is cooking something up. He said, you just wait. Might have just lost my first finals to Tim Duncan and the Spurs, but you just wait.
And we said it'll be in his 49th game this season if he's averaging his career 27. So how many games do you think Bron plays this year?
All I know is this, bro. You know what happened last time he had to break a scoring record, right? This was going to happen. LeBron's going to come out averaging 30 for the first 49 games, right? Then he's going to sit out the rest of the season. He said, all right, coach, I want enough games for us to be close enough to be in the playoffs. I'm going to see y'all in April, man. I'm going to see y'all in April.
That's exactly what happened last year. They said, bring Kareem's wrinkly ass out here. Let him congratulate me real quick, and then I'm going to dip.
You want to talk about salty, bro. Oh, man. Was Kareem salty, bro? And I think Kareem was salty then, bro. Kareem's going to be salty when this man breaks 40,000 and they have a ceremony about it.
Man, yo, speaking of disappointments, Winning Time is over. You saw that? They canceled the HBO show? That's how you know it was true. That's how you know everything that was in that show is true. Jerry West complaining since the first season. They got that thing off the air before Magic even caught the 8s, okay? Said, let's wrap this up.
Oh, fuck. Hey, look, so did it actually finish season 2, though, or was it like in the middle of the season?
I think there's one more episode out in season 2. Like, it's coming out soon.
It is coming out.
But it's about to be the finale, and then that's it.
Oh, shit, bro. Man, they weren't playing around. I mean, no, don't get me wrong. The Winning Time, great show.
Honestly, how they did all the on-court stuff is the craziest part to me. Like, how they remastered iconic games and moments and Kareem's hook and Magic behind the back passes, like with the crowd reactions and like the old cheerleader uniforms. Everything is on point. Like, that show was there. That's why I said there's got to be something behind the scenes why it's getting cut.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, you got me. I was Magic's stunt double. You could only see really when they cut close, but it was me. So, but now, man, in all seriousness, no facts. It's a great show, and like you said, I think that's what attracted the fans to it, myself included. I mean, it was real, dude. It was a real show. You know what I mean? So definitely vibes in with it, man. Well, we're talking about scoring, man. I mean, we mentioned KD earlier, dude.
Yeah.
KD's probably the greatest scorer of all time. Nah, you can't say that, right?
Of our generation, like with who we saw.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable with people saying it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's just his way of getting to the 30 a game. You know what I mean? It's just different. He himself, man, he's on pace to break some records this season as well. As of right now, I believe KD, he stands 12th overall in scoring. 12th overall. So he's got to pass Shaq and he's got to pass Is it Melo?
It's Melo. It's my guy. You said KD was the best scorer of your generation that we saw. I think it's a tie from my opinion. Melo and KD.
As much as I want it to be a tie, Melo needed that last season with Portland to break the 10. Like KD got at least 6 seasons in him. Like I agree with you.
He's gonna blow him out.
If you ask me who I'd rather watch in person, 3 to the head, I'm sorry. Nah, Melo was a showman, dude. Melo was a showman, bro.
He was a showman. Yeah.
With that being said, KD, unfortunately, bro, he's gonna pass Shaq and then tear both his ACLs, and that'll be it. He'll get locked in at 11th overall.
The thing is, they're tied right now. Shaq and Melo have the exact same number of points.
Not man. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's
wrong. Hold on, let's double check this.
Yeah, let's get this straight. This show ain't about facts, but we're gonna give you some facts.
Okay, so Shaq's 8th, Melo's 9, bro. So Melo's still rocking strong with Melo. So KD's actually 13th. Okay.
Oh, he's 13. Okay.
He's got to pass Hakeem, Elvin Hayes, and Moses Malone. But in terms of points, you are still correct because he's got 26,892, and Moses Malone has 27,409. So he doesn't even need that much. I think
he's getting that before the in-season tournament. That's light work.
Wait, is that actually happening?
Yeah, it's happening. We're gonna be talking about it, man.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I was going through this all-time scoring list, and I'm just looking at numbers. I was like, oh, crap, who's got all of these blocks? And like, it's Shaq and Hakeem. And then I look over, I'm looking for Wilt. Forgot they didn't keep blocks. And I look at his rebounds, right? So Moses Malone has 16,000 rebounds, right? Shaq has 13,000. How many do you think Wilt has?
32,000. No, that's crazy. 20K.
Like, honestly, bro, for Will, that's not the craziest thing. He has 23,924 rebounds, bro.
Yeah. That sounds right.
What? Nah, man, on some real shit. Like, it's almost like a discredit to human history that he didn't play in today's age, right? Because you'd have been able to actually have the live footage, the recording, been able to watch him score 100 points. Not to say he would have done it in today's day and age, right? But you catch my drift. It's like we almost missed out because of we missed out. I mean, not almost. We missed out because of when he played. We can only imagine. We can't even really think and see it. There's some footage, there's some footage, but
not enough. And there's none of the 100-point night, which is like the greatest mystery of them all. Because we got some random footage of him versus 3 plumbers and Bill Russell, but none. It was against the Knicks. This wasn't like some small market Memphis Hammerjacks in 1935,
All right, that's funny. That's quality comedy. Well done.
All right, we got to talk about this one. I saw this conversation online, and I thought, man, we got someone working for the damn FIFA administration. We gotta speak on this, brother. So the question is it easier to get into the Premier League or the NBA? And before you answer that for us, why don't you break down for those that may not know what the Premier League is, how it is the upper echelon?
Yep. So like Ty said, what is the difference? Before we could do it, we got to break it down. So the Premier League is the top flight of soccer. I'm going to call it football because it's football, but unfortunately in America, we call it soccer. So the top flight of football in England, in the UK, and arguably in the world, right? So it stands by that name, the Premier League, with good reason. The Premier League has top teams in the world, the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, my favorite team, Manchester City, that dominate, the likes of world football every year, right? So to get them to understand, arguably the NBA of soccer. There's a lot of top level leagues in soccer. It's not like basketball where, the NBA is clear cut, but everyone says the standard is the English Premier League. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to go into the answer directly. I'm kind of just going to crisscross around it, right? There's 30 teams in the NBA, 15 players per roster, right?
Yep.
There's 20 teams in the Premier League, 25 men per roster, right? So if you do the math already, you're thinking, okay, well, my odds are soccer, more players on the field, 500 players in the Premier League, 450 in the league, How realistic is it that I could play in the Premier League? Well, this is something that you got to understand about the great game of football, right? There's relegations and there's promotions. So if you finish 19th and 20th, guess what, buddy? You're not in the league anymore. If the Philadelphia 76ers want to trust the process, guess what? They would have to trust the process in the G League. You know what I mean? So that's what's interesting about soccer, right? So if you don't perform well, you drop off. So it makes it that much more challenging, people coming in, night out. The other part about it is, right, you don't necessarily need two-way contracts like in the NBA between the G League, right? So you have a 25 limit roster on your men's Premier League, right? But you can have as many guys as you want in your under 21 squad, local homegrown guys, yada, yada, yada. And what we know about under 21, nowadays, most pros start being professionals at 19. So just because you're under 21 doesn't mean you're a baller, right? So the chances to play, yes, there might be more players, right? But the chances to play, I feel like, are so slim. Now, this is where it becomes interesting, right? And this is why I say the NBA, it's more difficult to get into the NBA. And this is not in the Premier League, but then you got to say top leagues in soccer, right? Because there are so many top leagues, you can still go to Barcelona in the Spanish league and get the energy that you're getting in the English Premier League. The competition around you might not be as good, but you're at that level, right? Whereas in the NBA, it's not like you can necessarily go, to the Santa Fe Warriors and expect them to ball out like their NBA counterpart, right? So I don't know. I'm split.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at the pool of players eligible, right? Basketball and soccer are the two most played sports in the world. But soccer has the advantage. The physical requirements to play soccer are less stringent. You're 5'8", but you're a speedster, you can find your way on the pitch. You're 5'8", and you got a nice handle, that's nice. We're sending you to Europe. I think because of the physical requirements, and I'm not saying you don't have to be physically gifted, it always helps, just like in basketball where it always helps. But that floor is a little bit harder. You know what I mean? Like there is a cutoff. If you're not built a certain way, you could be the best player. But for you to get that opportunity is tough. For that reason, I'm leaning. It's close, but I'm leaning basketball. Is the NBA is a tougher league to get into.
Well, and honestly, that's where I was leaning too. I mean, the thing that had me on the fence is the total number of people who play soccer compared to the total number of people who play basketball. But you sold me right there, and I'm going to add to your example, and I'm going to give you two words. Isaiah Thomas, the new Isaiah Thomas. How is it that you average 30 in the league and still don't find a way to get a contract after an injury? Like how I don't understand that. So it's like that shows you how it doesn't matter. You could average that at the highest level, but because you don't have the physical gifts and you don't have that platform that you had, it's like, oh, we forgot that you could even do that. Sorry, we're not even gonna give you another chance, Like
think about the tournament last year, March Madness. I think it was Marcus Noel, 5'9" point guard, put out the first 20-20 game, 20 points, 20 assists in March Madness history. This guy can play the position, shoots. He's a modern day player. Shoots threes, gets to the cup, finds his teammates at an exceptional clip. He's never going to play in the NBA. He's in the summer league. he's never going to play in the NBA. I can tell you that right now. And it's not because he wouldn't perform if he was given the opportunity, but it's because of the physical requirement. They feel like, okay, he'll get buckets, but he can't defend anybody. The Kemba Walker effect, the Isaiah Thomas effect. It will push you out the league quick, even if you were a 30-point per game guy, even if you were a max player. It's a little different with soccer. All right, y'all. With that said, that's going to do it. Another episode of the Hoop Plug in the books. Me and Frost, happy to be back on Wags. But before we get out of here, we just want to tell you about the best men's hair care company in the game.
Yes, sir. And that is none other than EvanAlexanderGrooming.com. That's right. Like my brother Tyler said, they are the best hair care, skin care, beard care, all of the above website in the game, man. Go to EvanAlexanderGrooming.com. Check out what they got. They're going to get you right. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget to put in promo code hoop_plug_ to get 15% off at checkout. Supporting them is supporting us. And I'll tell you what, they've been supporting you boys. So
Yes,
show them some love. And with that being said, guys, appreciate y'all rocking with us. Put some flavor in your ear.